Hi everyone, I'm Sunny and today's video is going to be a celebrity crush reading and it's a yes or no format. I don't think I've done this type of reading for that celebrity crush reading, but I thought it'd be interesting. So sometimes you have very particular questions that you want to ask about your celebrity crush and you just want a yes or no. So this is the reading for you. So I have 10 piles you may choose from top to bottom, left to right. I have pile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by I was gonna say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So remember to take your time if you need to, pause the video if you have to think about the question or several questions or several celebrities and you have several questions in these formats, and receive your answer and maybe like a quick message. So I will go ahead and start with pile number 1. So for pile number 1, you guys have a no. This is the 5 of Swords reverse. So I'll give you a few seconds for you to get your own interpretation for this card. So for this card, I would say, oops, I placed it too far up. So for this card, I definitely think that if you're asking about, your celebrity crush, I think that they're either withholding their tongue, withholding their thoughts and actual maybe feelings, but more so what they actually think. Like their honest opinions, they're kind of keeping that to themselves, or they're starting fresh with a new, not cycle, but like with new perspective of change. Like they're trying not to go back to like arguing, like senseless arguing without reaching a good like a good compromise or a good point of like, okay, I resolved this, like closure maybe. So they're trying to walk away from that. Maybe there's someone that had to continuously bicker with people or fight, and it just felt like nobody was a winner, everybody was a loser. So just keep that in mind. Even if you feel it's like a different type of response, and of course I've always told you with my readings, please use your discretion and your own interpretation, to get what you fits your scenario more. So thank you, pile 1. Pile number 2, you guys have a yes. This is the Hermit card upright, So I'll give you a few seconds for you to stare at that. So with a Hermit card upright, I feel that if you're sorry, I don't want to sound scratchy. So for you guys, I feel that maybe they're kind of in a point where they're purposely isolating themselves, or maybe they feel like they're not being able to count on people because it's just not their mood right now. I think they're more in like hermit mode in that sense. I think they maybe are, staying up late at night, or maybe they have a lot of sleepless nights where they'd rather just like do something productive with their time if they're just not going to be able to rest. I think they're someone that feels like they need to isolate, maybe for example for their creativity, or maybe they need to silence everyone's opinions and voices by just focusing on stuff that pertains to themselves and their actual thoughts. Like, I'm just gonna not consider people's feelings and just focus on rationale. So logic for them is important. So research basically. So thank you, pile number 2. That's what I have for you. So pile number 3, you guys have a yes. This is I always messed up with this one. I always confuse it with the 7 and the 8, but this is the 8, right? I think it's 8 too. Yeah. So this is the 8. Oh, I still have to count for this, by the way. This is a yes, 8 of Wands. I'll give you a few seconds for you to, feel out the card and feel out your own interpretation for this card. So for this pile, I feel that you guys are, well, not you guys in particular, but your celebrity crush is someone who's having to take action. I think they're being called upon to take action, and I think they're ready for it. I think whether you, like, example, like, so they've been on hideouts or like prolonged, not vacation time, but like prolonged time off from like quote unquote their typical work of line, until finally they're like, okay, like I'm ready to come out of my cocoon and like focus on continuing my work. Maybe they're also like the type of person who speeds up like me. they speak And sometimes like they're missing the important keys, right? Like slowing down and pacing yourself so that you're not missing the finer details, or like maybe just like tweaking up what they already have done so that it's not like overlooked. Like it could have been much sharper, cleaner had they just, slow down a bit and focus on little things. So just keep that in mind. That's more or less their energy. Like they're being called up to take action, and it's coming in fast, or they're coming out of their cocoon basically. So thank you, pile number 3. Pile number 4, you guys have a yes. This is the 9 of wands. I was going to say swords. Upright, sorry. So I'll give you a few seconds to stare at it for your own interpretation of the card. So for this pile, I feel maybe I should just, yeah, there. Sorry. So for this pile, I feel maybe there's a connection from the previous pile, but it doesn't have to be, by the way. But maybe it is. So I feel that if you came from the previous pile, you might have your own specific connection to it. Since I'm leaving in general, I think it's maybe someone that has a fiery temper, or maybe they're a fire sign, but I do think they're someone that's very, like your celebrity crush right now. This is a yes, but whatever you're asking about, or that energy that's around them feels like they're very protective. Like they're not that they're hiding behind closed doors or walls, but I feel they're purposely doing so because they're being very protective of things that they want to protect. That doesn't make sense, right? Let me just take a quick sip of water because I feel like I'm just getting scratchy. Okay, so where was I? Okay, that didn't help. But for you guys, I feel this wand energy is very important to them because they're trying to hide in their safety net, if that makes sense. Because look at how like this looks like a bunch of walls and borders, and it's like a fence. So it's like maybe a metaphorical one, in that sense, where it's like you can see them, but it's like at a distance, or you can approach them, but it's just superficial, or it's just business. Like you're not really going to get to not the softer side of them, but more so their vulnerable side, what they deem vulnerable. So they feel like they were put in a vulnerable place maybe previously, and so they're trying to build up a fort of like protection, or like, you know what, I'm not going to make this mistake again, so I'm going to be more protective and more on guard, like ready to attack. Imagine like a castle, like they're just kind of waiting for the enemy to approach, and they're like, okay, like we can we can start attacking, right? So it just feels like that they're very protective in that mode of like protective of their space, their mentality, or their persona, their family, their lover, or whatever makes them feel like I need to stand in between them, right? So that nobody gets to them. So it feels very protective on this part. So thank you, pile number 4. Pile number 5, you guys have a no. This is the 7 of Swords. Reverse, sorry. So I'll give you a few seconds for you to stare at it for your own interpretation. So the energy around them, I know is pretty brief, but I'm trying to speed it up because I feel like it took too long on the previous one. So for this energy, I feel that your celebrity crush is trying to be more realistic about things and not like leave things under the table. Or like example, like imagine they're having to deal with contracts, right? So sometimes contracts have a lot of fine prints and shadiness, and they're trying not to, get the short end of the stick. So they're not microanalyzing things, but they're kind of taking their time, right, to look over things, look over the finer details, making sure that no stone is left unturned. So I do think they're trying to be more not clear, but I had the word right now, but it's basically like no funny business. So they're trying to avoid that. Or at least they're trying not to be like, if that's their thing, and it's not relating to that, like their communication or who they're talking to, they're making sure that it's not shady. No one, like they're trying to be more upfront about it, like no sneaky business. Like maybe they learned their lesson with previous people they dealt with, with that like foxy energy of like being cunning, but they're trying to avoid that because they're like, you know what, I'm trying not to do this, I'm trying to be learning from my mistakes or being a better person or going above that, like I'm older than this, like I've grown, like I don't need to be doing this anymore. Or they're trying to not deal with shady business that can like make sure that they, example, like get really bad benefits, for example, like stuff like that, right? So like I just keep thinking of contracts, like contracts that like might make them work longer or less vacation time or longer hours or more budget cuts, stuff like that. You're like, I could have avoided it had I just looked over stuff better and like look at the fine print or look at the details that look very like very elongated words, fancy words, when they can just be simple things. So just keep that in mind. So I'll leave it at that. So pile number 6, you guys have a no. This is the Queen of Pentacles reverse. So you're more than welcome to stop and give it a few seconds for you to interpret this card for your own situation. So for this one, I feel that your celebrity crush is dealing with instability maybe right now. Maybe it's like bad management or something that feels like they have to cut their losses. Like I think that whatever their opportunity that they kept like pretty tightly close to them was unfortunately not very fruitful, or someone like messed their opportunity to gain finances from this. So that's their energy, like whatever you're asking about, right? Or this could be like even like them being something simple as like them being not so stingy anymore too. It's like they're not as like maybe they also want to share it, like their creativity, like I want to say creativity, but whatever are, how can I say this, whatever skill set, basically whatever skill set is making them money, they're like, okay, I don't have to hold too tight to this anymore because I feel that it's time for me to share it with the world. So they could be, even though it's reversed and it's kind of private, I think maybe they're starting to be more comfortable in like letting go of the control, because even if it was upright, like it's still pretty close to the Queen's heart, right? Or the Queen's hands. Like maybe things are out of, it's the fact that maybe stuff is out of their hands right now, or you're asking about situations like it just feels like it's out of their hands already, and they don't have control, right? I feel like there's no control here, like loss of control of finances, or maybe, again, maybe I said it earlier but previous past, but bad management of finances, of personnel, or of money that it's like it's not coming back to them, right? So they're like, great, I have to go back to the drawing board and figure out something to get back on track and get my stability. So, you know, to each their own, but that's the message I'm getting. So next, pile number 7, you guys, and let me cover this. This is the Devil card upright. So let me just place it with covering. So I'll skip this one. Like you know how the card looks, you know, I'm not going to show you, but feel it out if you want to. But I'll give you my interpretation of the card as a yes. Sorry, I feel the scratchiness and the nasally coming in. So for this pile, I feel that you are dealing with somebody who has a lot of people maybe that have a say in their actions, or maybe they're like very dependent maybe, or someone that has lack of, like, not lack of, there's somehow I feel like it might be connected to the previous pile for some people, but it's not that they have lack of control, it's that they don't have much of a say in the decisions that get executed, right? So let's say there's a plan or it's a team, they're not like the team leader, or they're not the assistant, or they're just kind of stuck in like I'm just the face. Like they really don't have much of a say in that sense. Like my opinions are basically till the very end, so they don't get accounted for. So they're like stuck in like the cycles, like toxic cycles of dependency, or cycles of feeling like they have to continuously work for productivity, but they're not feeling like they can get out of it, or they're feeling kind of stuck in a rut that they're usually used to. So I'm sorry for my voice, it's already getting scratchy. So take what resonates, but that's the energy I feel for this one. Maybe they're stuck in like addictive patterns, or being surrounded by like maybe a love connection that's sorry. Maybe they're stuck in a certain toxic relationship, right? That's not beneficial to them, but take what resonates. Or maybe there's someone that can be that way, that they're the controlling person, but whatever resonates. So thank you, pal number 7. Maybe I should take more water. Give me 1 second. Okay, I think that no, never mind. Pile number 8, you guys have a yes. This is the 10 of Pentacles upright. So pile number 10, no, sorry. Pile number 8, you guys have a yes. You're more than welcome to feel out the card for a few seconds to get a different interpretation from mine. So for this pile, I feel that your celebrity crush feels like they have it all. They feel very stable. They feel like maybe they are running like a family, but usually because of how many people are like in the background, even though it's like kind of difficult to see because of the pentacle energy, and maybe that can be them, like it's difficult to see them being the face of it when it's like a business run by like many people who happen to like hide behind the money, right? They're not really that important, or they try not to be. They're like very, I don't know why I wanted to say that, but like very like like look at me kind of energy, even though they're well known. So maybe they have respectable traditional type of careers where it's like very, I don't want to say boring, but very like, oh, like if you're like, how your family tends to push you to certain like non-creative jobs. I just feel it's like that, like the safe routes, like what they consider safe. Like example, like a banking system, right? They're like, oh, you're like in that type of field, like okay, yeah. Like I could see them not questioning their authority or their persona or like their value, right? So I feel that that's the kind of like energy that's around them. They're enjoying this, but it feels like they're just very stable people right now. Are they feeling stable because they're doing a lot of business? Maybe that's just it, like doing a lot of commerce with like different people, organizations, or like future projects that's like in the works, kind of taking their time to be detailed and stuff. So I do think they feel successful in that sense. Maybe I should just lower my voice because I feel it just like cracking really bad. So I do feel that for this pile that they're just channeling that. So overall, I feel that the energy for whatever question you're asking about like an earthy sign, or maybe it's like significant success for them will come during earth sign seasons, or it's the fact that they're encompassing this energy of like stability, responsibility, and like authority. Like they're feeling like they have it all, but it also means that they have to have a lot on their plate, right? It's like a lot of tasks to be done and be disciplined in order for them to continue to have that prosperity. So I'll leave it at that. So next, pile number 9, you guys have a yes. This is the Queen of Swords upright. You're more than welcome to interpret that with a few seconds for yourself. So I feel for this pile, you're channeling maybe a female, very strong female, very strong, I want to say a judge or like a doctor, but a celebrity crush can be many things. So I'm going to try to speak a little lower, sorry, because I don't want to be scratchy. But for this pile, I feel they're very, their actions are based on taking emotional calculation. So like, imagine like people come to them with respect, but in respect to like, if they want to relay information to this individual, I think they know to, choose your words wisely, because this person will, you know, tear them down. Basically, if they just say the wrong word, or maybe that they have more control over their communication. So like they really know how to, like, if they're sorry, if their emotions are hurt, and they're hurt because you relayed a very important message to them and it was mean or like curt, well, they'll take that same sword energy you gave them and make sure like you receive it back. And they're like, well, this could have been said in a different time when I was not feeling vulnerable, or this could have been told to me in a much softer way. Not that they need it, it's the fact that it felt more like sometimes a personal attack, right? So with the Queen of Swords, you have to consider the fact that for this, I don't know why I wanted to say that for this pile, but the energy this person is conveying is like someone who has a lot of power in those emotional words that they convey or that they relate to you, because it has substance, it has motive, and it has rationale, but it can be a little cold and calculating and a little feisty in that sense, like it hurt. So I do think they're in the position of power now to say no, for example, and no means no. And if I don't want to work this, or if I don't want to do that, or collaborate with this person, or do this project, it's going to be respected. So I do feel this person feels like they're already in a place of authority, and you're more than welcome to feel differently about the situation, but that's what I'm feeling. So last pile number 10, you guys have the Page of Swords upright, so I'll give you a few seconds for you to feel out the card for your own interpretation. So for this pile, I feel your celebrity crush is feeling very playful. Compared to the previous pile, I feel like they're enjoying this back and forth, like not bickering, but like sass between them and other people. So whoever they decide to communicate, they feel very playful. Maybe if you're channeling kind of a young celebrity, but I do feel they're enjoying themselves. They're just kind of enjoying communicating with everybody. So whatever comes, it goes. Like they're very like there's a lot of movement with this person. So like maybe they have to constantly move a lot, or maybe they do a lot of business like abroad, or they interact with people from all walks of life. But I do feel that there's a lot of movement in that sense. Like it's very airy, it's very light communication. So whatever energy or question you're asking about, that's the energy they're giving out. They're someone that's playful, tongue-in-cheek. I feel a lot of gray zone with them. Nothing black and white, but they enjoy that. I think they're someone that's kind of learning the ropes of their profession, maybe, or how to handle uncomfortable situations. Example, like if you're asking about them, like how come you don't see them enough on interviews and stuff, it's because they're still kind of learning the ropes of how to handle that, right? So they're kind of playing coy with the media so that they don't get trampled over. Like they really need to kind of learn that discipline in that sense, but in a playful way. I think they're having fun with it, and like taunting and teasing the media with like what they say and what they do, and like if there's double meaning behind that, or like if they're just playing around and being jokesters and stuff. So that's the energy I'm getting for this one. So I hope that helped, and you're more than welcome to feel differently about this card interpretation. But thank you so much for sticking to the very end, and I'll see you in a different video. Please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out so much with growing it so many people can see it. I mean, not like many, but I'm trying to grow my channel still. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. So bye everybody.